Hey YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Intuition. So this is home stretch for me. This is the week that I take the exam, and I'm very excited to be taking the exam this week and getting it over with, because it's one thing to study for fun and to study for information for your own personal knowledge versus studying for an exam, right? Like the exam takes all the fun out of studying for some reason. So very happy to be getting it over with, and as long as I pass my exam, I'll keep posting videos on naplex topics. So hopefully I do pass the exam. If I don't, you guys probably won't see me for a while, so we'll see what happens. But today we're going to keep the marathon going. We're going to answer 3 questions about enteral nutrition. All right, stay tuned. All right, so today we're going to be answering enteral nutrition questions. This topic has some good amount of calculation problems that go along with it, so we're going to be answering a few questions on those types of questions. All right, so let's dive into it. Let's go into question number 1. All right, question number 1. Question number 1 states, a hospitalized patient receives 1,800 calories of parenteral nutrition per day, with 25% coming from protein. If a 24-hour urine analysis reports a UUN, urine urea nitrogen, of 18 grams, how would you characterize the nitrogen balance of this patient? Assume no additional loss of nitrogen. Okay, so what's going on here? So we have a patient who's getting TPN nutrition. So this is the patient who's hospitalized, who's not able to tolerate food by mouth. So they have to get the nutrition through a IV line. And now in this question, we're asked to characterize the patient nitrogen balance. Now, what is the nitrogen balance? Well, nitrogen balance is a simple equation. It's the amount of nitrogen you consume minus the amount of nitrogen you expel. So there are different routes of elimination for nitrogen, but the main route is through the kidneys. And in this case, this patient eliminates 18 grams of nitrogen through the kidneys in a day. And we're told to assume that that's the only route of elimination of nitrogen. Okay, so we know how much nitrogen this patient eliminates per day, 18 grams. So now we just need to calculate how much nitrogen this patient consumes in a day. And how do we do that? Well, we're told that the patient consumes a total amount of 1,800 calories per day, and 25% of those calories come from protein. So how many calories come from protein? Well, we divide 1,800 calories by 4. And when we divide 1,800 calories by 4, what do we get? We get 450 calories. So 450 calories is coming from protein. Now we need to convert that into grams. How do we convert from calories to grams for protein? There are 4 calories in 1 gram of protein. So we divide 450 by 4 to get the total amount of grams of protein. When we divide 450 by 4, we get 112.5 grams. So this patient consumes 112.5 grams of protein per day. And now we just need to do the final step, which is to convert from grams of protein to grams of nitrogen. And what's the conversion factor there? For every 6.25 grams of protein, there is 1 gram of nitrogen. 6.25 grams of protein is equivalent to 1 gram of nitrogen. So we need to divide 112.5 by 6.25. And when we divide 112.5 by 6.25, what do we get? We get 18 grams, which is exactly equal to the amount of protein that this patient eliminates in a day. So the nitrogen balance would be a balance of 0. So the correct answer is answer choice A. This patient has a 0 nitrogen balance and is maintaining muscle mass. Okay, easy, right? All right, let's go on to question number 2. Okay, question number 2 states, JL is a hospitalized cystic fibrosis patient who receives 800 calories of lipid nutrition per day. If a 20% intralipid emulsion is infused over 16 hours, what is the infusion rate of JL's lipid emulsion in milliliters per hour? So we have another TPN type question, right? Now in this case, this is a cystic fibrosis patient who gets a large amount of lipid nutrition per day. And we're being asked to find the infusion rate for the lipid nutrition based on the total amount of lipid calories the patient consumes per day. So how do we do that? We need to convert from calories per hour to milliliters per hour. So this patient consumes 800 calories in a day, and we're told that it is infused over 16 hours. This is the first place where it's easy to make a mistake, because it's easy to do 800 calories per 24 hours because the patient gets 800 calories per day. But remember, the infusion is over a 16-hour period, not over a 24-hour period. So we divide 800 calories by 16 hours, which gives us 50 calories per hour. And now we need to convert the 50 calories per hour into milliliters per hour. We're using a 20% lipid emulsion as the lipid source. And a 20% lipid emulsion is characterized by having 2 calories of lipid per ml. So there's 2 calories per ml for a 20% lipid emulsion. So all we have to do is divide 50 by 2 and we'll get the milliliters per hour. And 50 divided by 2 is equal to what? 25. So the infusion rate is 25 milliliters per hour for this patient. Another easy question, right? Easy. Okay, let's go on to question number 3. Question number 3 states, which of the following statements is correct when considering enteral nutrition for a patient with liver failure? Okay, so it's a very straightforward question. We have a patient with liver failure and we're being asked what we should take into consideration when giving such a patient enteral nutrition. So let's look at the answer choices. Answer choice A says, the nutrition should be devoid of protein. Does that sound right? I mean, no matter what state you're in, you kind of always need protein to maintain body structure, to be able to get your body to operate, because even DNA replication relies on polymerases and all these different proteins to make that happen, right? So metabolism, body structure, body function heavily relies on protein, and you can't just stop protein intake, otherwise the patient won't live. So answer choice A is a terrible answer, so no. B says, minimize the amount of tryptophan, tyrosine, and phenylalanine amino acids. How do you guys feel about this answer choice? Well, this answer choice is a very good one, because when a patient has liver failure, then what happens is that you get a buildup of amino acids. The liver is at the heart of metabolism. So the liver is responsible for synthesizing a lot of proteins and packaging and processing proteins for the body to use. So when a patient has liver failure, they have a tendency to have an accumulation of amino acids in their bloodstream. But certain amino acids could be very terrible if they're at a very high amount. The amino acids that you don't want to have a lot of in the bloodstream are the aromatic amino acids, because they lead to encephalopathy, which is like brain damage. So you want to avoid having a lot of aromatic amino acids in a patient with liver failure. And this answer is correct because tryptophan, phenylalanine, and tyrosine are aromatic amino acids. So you want to keep those to a minimum when you have a patient with hepatic failure. Okay, so that's definitely the correct answer, but just to make sure, we go ahead and look at the remaining answer choices. Answer choice C says, minimize the amount of valine, leucine, and isoleucine amino acids. No, that's incorrect, right? Because we either want to maintain the level of those amino acids or increase those amino acids, because those are branched amino acids. And D says, treat the patient the same as a patient without liver failure. All right, another wrong answer, right? And we can easily eliminate that, because liver failure is not a joke. That's a very serious condition, because the liver is a very resilient organ. You know, even when a patient goes into septic shock, the first organ that fails is the kidneys. And the liver still manages to maintain and hold on for a long period of time, because it's a very resilient organ. So when this organ starts to fail, that's serious business. And you definitely don't want to treat a patient with liver failure the same as you would a patient without liver failure. So that's definitely an incorrect answer, and the correct answer is answer choice B. Okay, so there you guys have it. I hope these questions were helpful for you guys. If you have any questions about them, leave it in the comment section below. For those of you who are still studying, continue to hang in there. And like I told you guys, as long as I pass my exam, I'll continue to help you guys out. I'll continue to post videos on this channel. And also on this channel, we cover a wide range of topics. So I'll be posting a lot of different topics on math and different sciences. So hopefully you guys develop a healthy love for learning as I have, and you guys continue to watch the videos on this channel. All right, so go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.